Today's date is May 26th, 2020. We are 3 days away from the last day of school. We are only days away from the end of May and the beginning of your summer break. And this is your next to last math lesson of this school year. There is so much more that I would love to teach you. And today we're going to talk about something called expanded form. If we had been at school, we would have learned this weeks ago, but because of the slow pace that we've been keeping, and that's okay, we're doing the best we can. We're just now going to squeeze it in right at the end of the school year. But I wanted you to at least be exposed to this expanded form because it's a lot of fun and it really sort of brings together this concept of hundreds, tens, and ones, which is what we call place value. And it also kind of ties together what we learned about our base 10 blocks. And so this is going to be fun to do together. So let's get started here. You see that I have some of the base 10 blocks written out here, right? And you know what number this represents, okay? If you are looking at it and counting this out, you see that I have, what are these things called? Yeah, these are the 100 flats, right? These represent hundreds. What are these things called? They are 10 sticks. They represent tens. And then these are called our little unit cubes, right? And they represent 1 unit. They are ones. So let's figure out what number we have here. What number is it? That's 327, isn't it? Because we have 7 little unit cubes over there. Well, you know how we would write the number 327, but I want to show you something a little bit different. It's what we call expanded form. And basically, it's just a way of visualizing what's going on here. How many hundreds do we have? How many tens? How many ones? And so what we do is we break it apart like it's a number sentence. And so how many hundreds do I have here? I have 300 flats, which equals how much? 300, right? Basically, this is what these 300 flats represent, is 300. And then how many 10 sticks do I have? I have 2, and how much does that represent? They're each worth 10, so what does that represent? 10, 20, right? So I'm going to say plus 20, because I have 300s plus 20, and then plus how many ones do we have? We have 7. So I would say plus 7. So 300 plus 20 plus 7 equals what number? 327. Doesn't that make sense? That's how we do expanded form. The thing I love about this, the cool thing about this is basically you're writing what you hear when you say the number. Listen, 327. Isn't that exactly what you hear when you say this 3-digit number? Yes, so it's just breaking it down into a number sentence. All right, let's do another one. Okay, this time I'm going to have I'm drawing some 100 flats here. Notice they are large squares, so we know they are not unit cubes. And then I'm going to draw 2 little unit cubes on the end there. Look at that, guys. What number would this be? You have 4 hundreds and 2 unit cubes. Now, do we have tens? Do you see any 10 sticks in this number? So we would be careful not to write the number 42, right? Because this isn't 42. We have 400s there. So remember, if we don't have tens, what do we have to do? We have to write that 0 in there, right? So this number is what? 402, isn't it? So how would we write that in expanded form? Well, how many hundreds do we have? We have 4, which equals 400. Okay, and then how many 10 sticks? We have none. Now, if you would like to write plus 0, you can. Just to remind yourself, I don't have any tens here. You don't have to because it's going to come out the same either way. Or you can just write what you have, 400, and then how many unit cubes? 2, okay? Equals, all right, we have 400, no tens, and 2 ones. And that is how we write the number 402. But look, isn't that what you see here? Listen, 402. See, that's exactly what we're saying with this 3-digit number. And that is what we call expanded form. Okay, let's do another one. All right, this time I'm going to have my big 100 flat here, and we are going to have some of our long, skinny 10 sticks. You can count them as I draw them. Okay, and I'm going to stop there. Notice I don't have any unit cubes. Okay, let's see how this number comes out. So what do we have here? Let's break it apart in expanded form. How many 100 flats do we have? We have 1, and what does that equal? It equals 100. Okay, so we're going to start there. We have 100. How many 10 sticks? We have 5 10 sticks, and what does that equal? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, so what do we have for our 10s? 50. And then how many ones? We don't have any unit cubes, do we? So you could put plus 0 if you would like, or you can just write what we see here. We have 100 and then the number 50, which is really the same thing as 5 10s and 0 ones. Do you see that? 100, 5 10s, 0 ones. But look, once again, we are writing what we hear. 150, and that is the number. Now, one thing I want you to be careful about, sometimes my students do this, and this is why I'm emphasizing that you should be writing what we hear, because sometimes my students do this, and I totally understand. They look at the 5 10s, and so they might write, okay, 100 plus 5. Okay, that looks like a 1. Do you see that, guys? Okay, that isn't what you hear when you say 150, right? So be careful that we're not just asking for the number of 10 sticks, but what does that equal? What do they represent? They represent 50, right? Okay, good job. So this is how we do expanded form. Now I want to see if I can do a big number here for you. Do you remember when we did the base 10 blocks, there was that big block that it's actually a 3D block, okay? It's like a big cube. Do you remember what that cube equaled? It wasn't 100, it was bigger than 100. And it looks kind of like this. So if I draw a square, and then I can kind of bring it out and sort of make it look 3D here. Okay, I'm not great at that. All right, and then I'm going to do another one. So this is, you won't see this on your papers very often, but this is just trying to represent that 3D cube that is different from the 100 flat. Do you remember how many this equals? 1,000, right? Each of them is worth 1,000. And then I'm going to put a few 10 sticks on here. Oh, guys, this is going to be a number in the thousands. Isn't that exciting? And then just a few little unit cubes. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, you couldn't see that there. Okay, let's see what number we have here. How many of these 1,000 cubes do I have? I have 3 of them, right? Okay, so I have 3,000. All right, how many 100 flats do I have? I have 0 100 flats, right? I could put a 0, or I could just keep going and I'm going to write my 10 sticks. How many 10 sticks? I have 4, which equals what? 10, 20, 30, 40. That's what those 4 10 sticks represent. So we're going to write plus 40. And how many unit cubes? 3. And we just write a 3 because they are each worth 1. 3,043. How would we write that number? It would look like this. 3,000, and we put a comma after our thousands place. You will do your thousands place more in 2nd grade and 3rd grade all the way up for the rest of your life. 3,000, I'm going to put a 0 here because I do not have hundreds. 43. Look at that big number. So we could keep going on and on with our 1,000 cubes and create really large numbers here. It's a fun thing to do. Okay, so very quickly, let's look at this number 3,043. Which number is in the thousands place? Yeah, it's the 4th number from the right. It's the one all the way over here, isn't it? We're not used to having a thousands place, but that's the one that comes right after the hundreds place. Well, which number is in the hundreds place? It's this one. It's the 3rd from the right. How about your tens place? Yep, that would be your 4, the 2nd one from the right. It's always right beside your ones. Your ones are always the number the furthest to the right. 3,043. Okay, today on your guided practice, you are going to try doing expanded form on your own. Thanks for listening, guys. Good job.